Hey guys, Cool Blind Way back. I'm Rick.
I'm Maggie.
And this is Haikyuu. We ended on not exactly a high note last time, but there's potential.
It seemed like a high note. It was like we got a goal.
Well, and we got to keep all the third years for one more tournament.
Yes. And we got to rub our awesomeness in the nose of that really, really actually awesome player, Ushiwaka.
Ushiwaka from Shirituzawa.
I think, yeah, that sounds really close if it's not exactly perfect.
Yeah, they're the best team in the prefecture. They beat Abajosai.
They beat college teams all the time, so...
Yeah, so they're going to go at it again. Abajosai, Karasuno, Shirituzawa, and Date Tech are all going to fight again at the Nationals. But we've got some prep time before that. Coach got us in with a league in Tokyo, right? Where we're going to fight against like 4 teams.
Yeah, I think so. There's like, they all have like long histories with each other, so they all get better just by fighting each other. Like you guys do with Smash Brothers, basically.
Exactly.
So
important to have good competition.
They're going to go to Tokyo and fight all these teams, but there's something major in the way before that.
What's that?
Their grades!
I always forget about grades!
Nishi and Tanaka, I'm pretty sure were like in the red zone of like, you need to talk to these kids in particular, but probably the first years fall under that umbrella as well, just as like it's their first year of high school, they need to do well, and I imagine it's harder in the first year just because you don't know how to like balance everything out quite right, so they're probably just going whole hog into volleyball.
Well, and the third years can't slack either, because at least 2 of them are going on to college, it sounds like. So they're going to need to make sure they keep up their academic studies as well. Mm-hmm. That this doesn't threaten their future. But the future of the team is all that matters.
But what? But they've already made the call to stay with the team, despite the fact it would probably be better for you to know their career, their futures, if they left. It'd be better for the show if they stayed.
They'd always regret it, though.
It'd be better for me if they stayed.
All right, let's get started.
I may not be tall, but I can fly.
Ah,
What a great line.
so good. Show's so good. Yachi is my spirit animal.
She watches them the way you watch anime.
She's moved to tears. Whenever she talks to people for too long, she feels like she's been in the sun too long. 2 things which tire me greatly.
That's true. I can attest.
I was good at school.
Yeah, you were good at school. Disgustingly so. He's like one of these people that doesn't actually have to study for tests and he does great for tests. He's just one of these people that's good at testing.
So there's finally someone I can relate to in this show.
But that just means you don't know how to study, because it always came naturally.
Not Spanish.
Oh my goodness.
It's always fun in dubs of anime when they're talking about struggling to learn English.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I love it. That's one of my favorite things.
Like in Persona 4. Oh, that's great.
All right. Well,
So they got 2 tutors.
I didn't even think about needing a new manager. Or I might have thought about it, but it slipped my mind.
Yeah, it occurred to me because I wasn't sure if like exactly what her position is generally. She has a notepad and she seems to take notes, but I don't know what all she is in charge of. Like, is she in charge of like
Probably scheduling.
Equipment? I don't know.
Yeah, ordering equipment, maybe stuff like that. Not sure. I never really played on many sports teams.
Or is she more like the face of? She takes care of like flyers and like advertising the team.
I think
like,
she definitely helped with that and help like in the recruitment of.
Yeah, so she's more like a
recruiter.
Yeah, recruiter, officer, person, and maybe getting people hyped. Somehow, but she's so quiet.
We also met 2 other new female, maybe recurring cast members, family members.
Oh, she's so cute.
Nanasu, Hinata's little sister, and Seiko, Tanaka's big sis.
Seiko.
Seiko.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who was a biker, like the Crimson Butterfly.
Yeah.
from Fruits Basket.
She only had dark hair.
She plays the, shoot, what are they called?
Taiko drums.
The taiko drums?
Those giant things.
Yeah.
Just imagine her with those on the back of her bike.
Imagine her, like, playing those at the beginning of a boss show for sumo.
Oh, amazing.
Oh, that's great. It's gotta be a real workout to play this drum.
She seemed really cool, and she seemed to have smitten a lot of the guys that were there studying. So, at least Nishi was like, "Hi, Tanaka sister."
I don't know. I think all the boys on the team are pretty thirsty, other than like Hinata, maybe. Although he was also kind of enamored with her as well.
Daichi was kind of. I mean, I feel like he doesn't like get like, girl. He gets more like the passion. He like when he cries, it's more like it's like so passionate and like just strong and like. Like you when you get like worked up with the show.
Yeah.
Like it's not because you're just like, oh, she's so cute and like it's like, oh.
Yeah, Nishinoya, Tanaka are definitely very thirsty. Probably the thirstiest on the team. And Nishinoya, did I say Nishinoya?
Yeah, she's in Nishinoya and Tanaka and Nishinoya, but I think you put him on that list twice, to be fair.
That's true.
Whew.
So, a practice game. They're doing well, although he got a third of the questions right, which means he still failed, right?
I would hope so. I'll be honest.
Maybe you just meant, like, of that section of them. You know? So, like, that section of the test.
It was a quiz.
That he just went over.
He got a third of them right.
Well, that's better than normal, because he said he doesn't even get double digits, right? So, that's like at least 30 to 25 to 30 more than he's normally getting, probably.
Yeah, he improved by like probably 700%.
Yeah. So he just has to have
do that again.
3 or 4 more study sessions with her, and he'll be acing it.
What you really need to do is just
like
learn.
the acing on the court.
They just need to learn how to study.
Yeah, or just learn how to take tests. Because like they were saying about like the literature tests were always the easiest because all the answers are right, staring you in the face. So.
Yeah. And as we obviously saw with them, they just weren't taking the time to read it through or read the whole question or read the passage completely. They just saw like one word and just like speed reading through it.
Yep. I did like how...
I used to tutor in college, so like...
I used to teach.
Yeah, but you didn't teach math.
No. I did not teach math.
It's like, these
Actually,
things, they all ring so true.
I tutored some students in math up in the help desk.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I used to do the math lab and all that, but, like, yeah, it's so true. It's like some people you just need to slow down and read the question. No,
yeah.
Read it again. Like, I'd actually literally, like, have someone read the question and they'd be just like, because, like, 80% of their brain is all focused on making sure they don't wig out completely. So they're only using like a tiny bit actually on the math. So just stop, read the question again, and read it again. And I'd like think about it as if it were money, and they answer it like instantly because it's using a different part of the brain.
Just cut out a little like rectangle, word link in the paper, and you just run it over one word at a time.
I know. It's almost what I've done before.
I really like Daichi's thing with Kageyama where he was like, "You're having trouble memorizing these words, huh?" Huh, 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 huh.
I've done that before too, where people's like, they can't do it or something like that. It's like,
well, yeah, like
they just have strengths. They put the effort in somewhere.
I forget what I was watching, but there was someone who was like a kid in the show that was having trouble with math, and like his friend or his teacher or whatever was like giving him all these video game things. Like, you know, if you've got 20% armor that takes off, you know, 30% per hit that you take, and you take 50 hits, how much damage do you take? He could do it instantly.
Yeah.
But he just didn't frame it the same way in his mind.
I've done the exact same thing with adult, like non-traditional students, where it's like if you just ask them in the terms of like money, that what they're used to dealing with, mostly, they answer it and they understand it instantly. But it's like if you frame it as an algebra equation, it's like they can't, they just stop. Anyway.
So do you think anything is going to become of Hinata and Yachi?
What, them specifically?
Yeah.
I mean, you actually seem pretty into Kyoko.
Oh, I suppose that's true.
If you didn't happen to notice.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Duh.
I think Hinata's probably too much energy for her anyway.
Yeah. Whew. He's too much energy for most of the people in that show.
It's true. Not for me. I love it. Watch him all day long.
And hopefully we'll be able to see another game.
A practice game?
Yeah.
Yeah. With,
and hopefully that won't take any of their study time away. It seemed like they were all putting a lot of effort into it.
I like, too, how all the teachers were talking about how much they were improving.
Yeah, I mean, believe it or not, but teachers do pay attention to students. And if you put effort into it just by just freaking looking at your teacher when they're talking, they notice. At least in college level courses, they notice. And if you like answer questions, take good notes, just freaking do the homework, they notice.
It's also pretty great because I feel like in, I don't know if I want to say in real life or in America, or at least in what I've seen, like, I feel like the students would be blaming the faculty advisor, kind of, you know, like, they're putting the fact that they might not be able to go on him more than, like, themselves for not doing the work.
No, in America?
Well, just from what I've seen, that seems to happen. I don't know if that's an America versus Japanese thing, if that's an anime versus a real life thing, or what exactly.
I mean, if you're failing and you don't want to admit it, just blame whoever's closest, which is generally the person saying you're failing.
But it's really nice that none of them are blaming him.
Yeah.
And you got to see, like, you know, even though he had to kind of play the bad guy a little there, like, he's doing what's best for them, and it's working, and like, he's happy about it, the teacher's happy about it.
Oh yeah, he seemed like, I mean, it's the same way I get super excited. Like, if I tell Evie, like, she's got to clean her room before we can do something, and it's like, even though I really want to do that other thing, it's like, I gotta tell her no until she does.
You gotta be the adult.
Yeah, and it's hard sometimes because, like, maybe I do want to watch that show with her and stuff. Or go out to the park or something like that and get out of the house. But, yeah, you gotta stay back in the way. I'm sure Takeda really wants them to go. Like, if it were just up to him, it would be really hard for him to say, you can't go.
Yeah.
At the end of it. But the fact that they're putting so much more effort into it, even if they don't get to go, I think they can still be proud.
Yeah, we'll see. I hope they all get to go.
Maybe they grade on the curve.
Scrape by.
Who do you think will scrape the closest?
Hinata.
Really?
Although they said Kageyama is doing worse, but
I imagine Kageyama, like, I imagine Hinata's just generally doing worse at everything, and Kageyama's probably doing better at some things and really bad at other things because he probably focuses.
I'll say Kageyama because I feel like Hinata will hold it over him.
Yeah, that's true. Hinata's being that what the word?
Context clues.
Aggressive, but against other people.
Competitive.
Being that competitive can help you do well academically.
Mm-hmm. And Kageyama's really competitive too, though. Like, they all are.
That was pretty funny. I think he's dead. He's not breathing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I love the school stuff almost as much as the volleyball.
Oh, absolutely. Like, it is great. I just love hanging out with these guys.
Yep, it's great
and
stuff.
girls.
Good stuff. To the next. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Haikyuu. You can check out the next one right now over at patreon.com/blindwave. Full length is there too. Also check out twitch.tv/blindwave because it is more than likely that I am still playing the Final Fantasy VII Remake right now. If I'm not playing that, I'm playing something else amazing. We're all playing something almost every day of the week. Check it out.